Computer. There we go.
Good evening and welcome everybody. Let's just click OK. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so welcome everybody. It's Tuesday night, and it's time for our weekly Thrive 45 minutes of coaching support, coaching skills, coaching exercises, a chance to learn something new, and also most importantly, 45 minutes of fun, right? As we delve and we support each other with regards to our neurodiverse journey. So welcome to tonight's session. As you know, we have Tracy, who's leading the session for us, a neurodiversity coach who's an expert in her field, more than 20 years of experience, and also so passionate about empowering individuals with ADHD, ASD, or any of the comorbidities and other neurodivergent traits through awareness and coaching and community support. And you've got me, Natasha Hutchison. I'm an Agile coach and a neurodiversity advocate and founder of Agile Life Skills, and just really, really passionate about creating an awareness around neurodiversity and, the benefits and the skills around that and how, we can just lead more successful lives. And, the challenges that sometimes our neurodiversity can face us with is just how do we overcome those? So welcome everybody. We like to remind everybody as to why we started this. We find that there just really isn't the support out there for ADHD and neurodiversity, and it's so often misunderstood. And we just wanted to create a space, which was a safe and empowering space for everybody, where we could share real skills that make a real difference and practical strategies that work for everybody who might be struggling a little bit or just looking for different ways of doing things. Because we all deserve to thrive and not just survive. So tonight's session, we're going to be coping with setbacks and adjusting strategies. And it's one of the things that my daughter and I were actually talking about this evening. She was saying, like, she's reading profusely at the moment. And she said, Mom, the thing I've realized about reading is that there's no happy endings. And I said, well, in life, sometimes there's a happy ending. And then after that, it's a bit boring. And then after that, there might be a bit of drama or something. I was like, no one ever tells us after, the princess and the prince get married. I said, but after that, they go on and they have kids and other things happen. I said, it's just real life. And I think that that's the thing, like life is sometimes about setbacks, or sometimes things don't go the way that we imagine that they would. And it's how do we cope with that, and how do we adjust our strategies in order to cope with that. So I'm going to hand over to Tracy, who's going to take us through tonight's session. Don't know if you want to say hi, Trace.
Cool. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's good to have you all. And I look forward to working and chatting to you all tonight. Please, we like to make this interactive. It's for you as well. It's not just for us, it's obviously. And we need to know where you're at. So please, at any stage, just put your hand up if you want to, engage. Tash is watching the message box, and we can answer any questions as we go. It doesn't have to wait till the end. So review of previous sessions homework, which was emotional regulation and strategies, how to do that. If any of you want to give us any, how did you manage a difficult situation this week or last week, and you use some of the techniques and tools we taught you? Did it help? How did it help? And if you want to, you can put that in the chat box so we don't waste any time, because we only got 45 minutes. We're going to do a little mindset quiz on setbacks, and looking at our mindset, how we see setbacks. Then modifying strategies when setbacks don't go the way that we want them to. How can we modify it? Emergency plan, the reset routine, personalize our emergency plan, and then obviously key takeaways and homework. So let's get right to it. So setbacks can be frustrating, especially when you put effort into and it doesn't go according to plan. So remember, we have unique strengths, okay? And it's about navigating the challenges with flexibility and resilience. But actually, we're talking about resilience today, and I said that's one of the greatest things we learn. And if we get the growth mindset where we say, okay, I'm here to learn and grow and to become better. How am I going to learn and grow and become better if I don't have challenges, if I don't have setbacks? And it's your attitude you have towards a challenge, towards a setback that can make you bounce back faster. So it's a mindset in the way of, yeah, I'm here to learn and grow and become better. And I can handle it. I can look for solutions. As soon as it doesn't work out, I can modify my strategy and say, okay, so what is the solution? What else can I find to make it work for me? Okay, so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to do a little quiz so you can actually get. So it's very important for Tash and I to allow you the opportunities to, um, because the coaching goes with self awareness. We're not self-aware, and especially with ADHD, we have lower self-awareness. So these quizzes are about making you self-aware as to where you are. When you're self-aware, you can reflect, okay? Then you can correct with skills, and then you can manage. So there's thought gone behind all these quizzes. It's not just to take up time, it's for you to actually reflect. Be aware and reflect on, okay, where are you with regards to your mindset on embracing setbacks for learning and growth? So you need a pen and paper. I hope you all got one. Tash, this is going to go onto our website afterwards, the quiz, so you will be able to get it. You on mute. Okay, so you you will be able to get it.
Yes, that's right. It's all loaded up already, so it'll be available to you guys.
Cool. And a recording of this as well. So if you've missed anything, you're welcome to get the recording too. Okay, so this is for you just to answer yourself. Okay, you're going to do A, B, or C. So when faced with failure, how do you usually react? A, I see it as proof that I'm not good enough. And you know what a human being's greatest fear is? No matter who you are, no matter what your education, no matter what your status, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what your culture, every single human being has the same fear. And our fear as a human being is that I'm not good enough. All of us. So when you feel like you're not good enough, just understand that's a human thing. Okay, it's not a you thing, it's a human thing. And then everybody feels like that. We just take it on differently. So that's 1, 2, I feel discouraged, but try to move on. And 3, I will C, I analyze what went wrong and see what I can learn.
Yeah.
Okay. Then just
Okay, efforts.
I have to.
Okay, pen and paper, then you write down number 1, which is your answer, A, B, or C. Number 2, how do you view mistakes in your personal or professional life? A, mistakes define my ability. B, mistakes are annoying but inevitable. C, mistakes are opportunities to grow and improve. I hope you all chose C. Number 3, if you set a goal and don't achieve it, what's the next step? I give up and assume it wasn't meant to be. B, I try again but feel doubtful. C, I adjust my strategy and keep going. So just be honest with yourself. Take an honest inventory because it's not who you are that's important, it's who you become. Okay, so it's about moving forward and not looking behind. But looking behind gives us hindsight, which helps us with foresight. Okay, 4, what is your inner dialogue when things don't go as planned? A, I knew I'd fail. B, this is tough, but I'll try again. C, every challenge is a stepping stone to success. So you can only just choose one for the sake of this. Okay. 5, how do you respond when someone gives you constructive criticism? A, I take it personally and feel defensive. B, I listen but feel self-conscious. C, I welcome it as valuable feedback for improvement. 6, when faced with a major setback, what do you focus on? What I lost or what went wrong? How to recover from it quickly? Or C, the lessons I can take from the experience? 7, what do you believe about challenges in life? They're unfair and unnecessary. They make life harder, but you have to deal with them. They are essential for growth and self-discovery. 8, how do you react when you see others succeed after failing multiple times? I assume they got lucky. I feel inspired, but doubt I could do the same. I see them as proof as persistence leads to success. 9, when I recall a past failure, what do you focus on? A, how embarrassing or painful it was, how I eventually moved past it, what I learned and how it helped me grow. And 10, if I could choose a motto for dealing with setbacks, one which resonates most with me, it would be failure means stop trying. B, try again, but be careful. C, fail forward. Each setback is a set up for a comeback. So look at your scoring. How many A's have you got? How many B's have you got? And how many C's have you got? And then 2 minutes to calculate them. Let's see where you are.
Jessica said a very good point. She's like, should I answer how I feel today or how I feel in general? Because the answers are different. And I think that that's a very real comment because not every day is the same.
No. So Jess, in general, because we're going to have our good days, we're going to have our good moments, we're going to have, yeah. So in general, how do you feel? Okay. So A, mostly A's, you may see setbacks as personal failures. Shifting your mindset to embrace challenges as learning opportunities could help you grow. B, you recognize setbacks as part of life, but might struggle to fully embrace their growth potential, building resilience. And then C, you have a strong growth mindset and understand that setbacks are valuable lessons on the path to success. Keep learning and thriving. Okay, so this is going to be on the website, so you're going to be able to access it after our Thrive 45. Okay, so that's where you're at. So remember, like I said to you, it's not who you are that's important, it's who you become. So where are you? Okay, and then how can we move forward? It's always important to have a good, strong inventory of that. So you can see your progress. We're looking for growth. We're looking for 1% better every day in 365 days. You're going to be 7 times better than you are now. So, and as ADHD people, we want the instant gratification, and we want these things, and we want them now, and we want these big things. And we're impatient, and we have low frustration tolerance, and all these things work against us, where we just need to just do better. Every day, do better. As soon as you do better, you can do more. Okay. And that has to be the momentum that you build, because you're going to have, like Jess, you're going to have a good day, you're going to have a bad day, you're going to have a good moment, you're going to have a bad moment, but just keep moving. The problem is when you don't move, okay, you stop moving, you become depressed or you become bitter. So this is setbacks.
Oh, sorry, I was going to read the chat. And
Oh,
Chloe was saying that she thinks she's growing, but still needs a lot of guidance. And for me, I must say, like, I was mostly C's, but it was interesting for me of how many my initial thought was B, and then when I process it, it's a C. So I think that goes to what Chloe's saying about the growing. And then I had the 1A, you know, that one, number 5, where it's just the RSD, you know, when you make a mistake, even if it wasn't your mistake, you know.
Absolutely. But the whole idea is just keep moving forward. Okay. And no matter how hard it is, at the end of the day, this is for you. You're alone in your head. And if you want to be content and happy, it's an inside job. We need to work on ourselves like we work on everything else. The most important is working on our mindset and how we see things. Okay, so this is how we see setbacks and modifying our strategy. So difficulty sticking to a routine, which a lot of us do, but routine and structure is vital for us. So the scenario is you created a structured daily routine to improve productivity, but after a few days, you struggle to follow it and you feel overwhelmed. Okay, so there's various strategies you can use. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go into each of them, but I know for a lot of my clients, the visual schedules, because of the time blindness, is so important. We've got it in our visual, so it's a physical diary, okay? Planners, okay, where you have your monthly planner and you tick it off as you achieve every day your exercise, for example. I tick it off on my monthly planner. Monday, I did it. Tuesday, I did it. So you can see it right in front of you. I kept to that routine. I'm building that new habit. Body doubling is very, very effective, especially on tasks that you find boring, okay, or you have no interest in. It really works for organization. I've got a client at the moment who's actually completely gutting her house with regards to sorting out what she doesn't need, what she's going to donate, and what she's going to sell. And she's used someone as a body double. And you can't believe how effective and how much she's done. Because now, because of our people-pleasing nature, she feels bad if she doesn't help her. So of course now it's really, really working effectively. So body doubling is very effective. Then you can break the tasks into smaller, manageable steps. So you just take one step at a time. Otherwise, we become overwhelmed and we start procrastinating. And you can use a reward system, dopamine boosters like music, a treat, or a break. They say you shouldn't use food as a reward, but some people do. So modify the strategy if it doesn't work. If the schedule feels too rigid, try time blocking. Okay, so you do it in half an hour or an hour. And a lot of the time, what happens is that I have this presentation to do. It's going to take me 2 hours, but I've only got an hour. So then I will go and do something else. So we need to see time in our mind is that, okay, I've only got an hour, but I can do half the presentation in that. Okay, so also if you lose interest, you can try gamifying. So I gamify things I don't like. So I'll say to myself, okay, so what can I do in 5 minutes? What can you guys put in the chat? What do you think you can do in 5 minutes? Come, I like some competition. Tell me what you can do in 5 minutes. What do you think? 5 minutes only. What can you do? I can't see the chat or the screen.
Make coffee or make a sandwich.
Okay, cool.
In 5 minutes in the morning when we're getting ready for school, I reckon I can put on my lunch to cook my boiled eggs, and I can make the kids lunch. And what else can I do? Make a cup of tea maybe
Cool.
to wake the kids up. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Chloe says get her kindergarten kids to the toilet.
Brilliant. So I time myself. So 5 minutes. I go into the kitchen, I unpack the dishwasher, I make cereal, I make myself tea, and I'm back at my desk at 3:48. And my competition's myself. And I don't break one dish, and I put all the stuff in the dishwasher in the right place. And just gamifying it just energizes me to do it. And then my competition, remember your competition is always yourself. It's never not yourself. So just doing that just makes it fun. We can have fun with ourselves, which a lot of us lose because life can be so difficult and can be trying. So if the mornings are difficult, shift your tasks to your natural energy peak. So I'm great in the mornings. At night, I'm exhausted. So a lot of ADHD people are nocturnal. They're brilliant at night, and in the morning, they're not. So try and work with where you're at. Okay. The next one is after routine. Okay, it's struggling to complete a task. So you start working on a project but never finish because you keep tweaking and refining it. So it's that perfectionism that comes in. So you've got to set a good enough threshold, which is difficult because you keep on. But the trouble is, because of the time blindness, it also can get us into trouble because then we run out of time. So you got to know what good enough is. What is your good enough? Okay. Then use timed work sessions. So that Pomodoro is 25 minutes. You can work in those sort of sprints, or 45 minutes and you rest for 5, or some rest for 15. It depends. And then having an accountability partner really helps you to decide when to stop. So it's like a body doubling, but it's accountability. They know, and then you communicate. Okay, so I need you to watch me on this. Modify your strategy if it doesn't work. If you ignore time limits, use a hard stop strategy where you must submit the work by a certain time. Okay. If fear of imperfection holds you back, try progress, not perfection journaling. So you list the small ones. So we strive for progress, not perfection. Perfection is a swear word in my life, in my mind, because there's no such thing as perfection. We strive for excellence, to be the best version of me that I can be. And that is the only way I'm going to get to be excellent is if I keep on progressing. So moving forward. And then if external feedback help, share drafts early instead of waiting for perfection. And it obviously depends on the task as to how involved you get other people in or whatever. Social exhaustion and burnout. You commit to social events or group activities, but end up drained and unable to engage consistently. Strategy, use recovery time before and after social events. Okay, use scripts or pre-planned exits if conversations become too much. Then choose low energy social prompts, online chats, one-on-one meetups. So some people, if you're an introvert, you need your alone time to recharge. People drain you. Extroverts need people to energize them. But even then, we need to make sure our cup is full. If our cup isn't full, we can't pour. We can't pour from an empty cup. And we're very good at doing that. We're very good at pouring from an empty cup. And then that's when burnout and exhaustion happen. And it's a real thing. Burnout is a hectic thing with ADHD. So modify the strategy if it doesn't work. If events are too draining, reduce frequency or tend for shorter duration. So if you have a problem saying no and you want to people please, okay, then just say, I can only come for an hour. I've got other commitments. So set it up the way you want it to play out. If last-minute cancellations feel guilt-inducing, set a minimum engagement rule. 30 minutes check-in instead of skipping entirely, again, for the same reason. And if you feel isolated but still overwhelmed, join groups where interaction isn't required. Book clubs, co-working spaces, okay, where you can just have the presence, but it's not energy draining. Then hyperfocus leads to exhaustion. So the scenario is you start a task and lose track of time, neglecting basic needs like eating or sleeping. Okay. And this is a lot of autistic people actually struggle with this, where they become so hyper-focused that they forget to eat or they forget to drink. And that is a real thing. So the strategies use external reminders, alarms, schedules, check-ins, set non-negotiable rule breaks. So 5 minute stretch every 45 minutes, but then you need alarms or you need little post-it notes all over that it reminds you to do that. Okay, so it's in your visual field again, which is very important. Then have pre-made snacks, water nearby to make breaks easier. Remember when your brain is 10% dehydrated, it's 50% less efficient. So it's very important to keep yourself hydrated. I'll always have water. I don't want to be dwarf. So I know I can be very dwarf if I don't drink enough water. Okay, modify the strategy if it doesn't work. If you ignore alarms, use a forced pause technique. Place necessary items like food where they block your workspace. If breaking focus feels impossible, use a finish line rule, set a task milestone, then break. If you spiral into exhaustion regularly, schedule recovery days after intense hyperfocus sessions or time out, an afternoon out, or you only go to the office in the mornings and you'll come home in the afternoons, or you go in the afternoons and whatever. You need to make sure, work with yourself. We're not machines. Okay. We've got 24 hours of energy every day. What are you doing with that energy? And your energy is precious. Time and energy is all we really have. So make sure that you do recover because it's difficult sometimes to have a work-life balance because it's like an Olympic runner. They're not going to have a balance there. They're going for the gold. But once they've got the gold, they need to recover. Okay. So if you've got a project and you're giving it your all and you're working really late, afterwards you need to stop and reset. Just pause. Okay. Have some time to recover because otherwise burnout is going to happen. Okay. What are you doing? Escape. Huh? It's giving me a pen here. I
A
don't know.
pointer, so you can
It's a
point at what
pointer.
you're saying.
So this is your emergency plan for when you're overwhelmed or feel off track. Okay. The plan is designed to lower your stress, bring clarity, and to reset your focus. So the signs to look out for, the emergency signs. Okay, and these are just common ones. Okay, there are obviously a lot more. But when you're feeling mentally foggy or unable to focus, okay, you're procrastinating on urgent tasks, you have extreme overwhelm or feel frustrated, you forget important tasks and commitments, that negative talk starts, that internal bully, okay, and it starts spiraling, and everything you're saying that's coming out your mouth as well is negative. You hyper focus on the wrong things, and you feel exhausted and emotionally drained. So your action step can be write down 3 to 5 personal signs that indicate you're in an ADHD emergency. So I want you to do that. Just maybe all of you pop one into the chat. What is one personal sign that indicates when you know you're in an ADHD or neurodivergent emergency? What is one of the signs?
So while everybody is doing that, I'm going to catch us up on what's been going on in the chat. So Chloe's been telling us that she body doubles a lot with her boyfriend and that a treat is her thing. And she's saying that in the 5 minutes, she can also get her kindergarten kids to go to the toilet and that games help a lot in education as well. Everett's saying that he focused on a task that he likes for 5 minutes, and now we're getting to the answers for the 3 to 5 personal signs that indicate you're in an ADHD emergency. Chloe put down crying out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I think that's a real one.
that's
I
a
think
real one.
that's one
That's overwhelm,
that I
complete
find that
overwhelm.
can hit me as well.
Mm. Mine's lack of energy. Just where you wake up and you have no energy left. And then you realize, oh dear, okay, today I'm staying in bed. And that definitely, I have burnout. I haven't had it for about 3 years. But I would wake up and I couldn't get out the bed. And then I realized, okay, because I was not aware. I love what I do and I'm run, 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 run. And then stop. And that day I canceled everything and I stay in bed and the next day I was fine. So you don't want to get to that. You want to actually be more aware of yourself so you don't get to that stage. Okay. All right, let's move on, only for the sake of time. Okay, so there's a thing
So
called,
we also put down, sorry, before we
yeah,
carry on,
awesome.
put down going off on someone I love for no reason and not loving what you do anymore at work.
No, that's very
Jess
valid.
is saying, feeling depressed. Today is the worst I felt in a long while. Hey, Jess, we hear you.
Okay, so I'm going to teach you about reset. Okay, so the reset routine we can all learn and implement. So the R stands for recognize and pause. So acknowledge when you're feeling overwhelmed and take a 10-second pause, which is something we really do struggle with, the pausing. Okay. And the pausing just gives us a space to breathe and reconnect. So you can say to yourself, so it's again validating where you're at. I'm struggling right now, and that's okay. I can figure this out. So it's okay not to be okay. Sometimes it is okay not to be okay. You can't be okay all the time. And validate that. You can take 5 deep breaths or drink a glass of water or the 10-minute pause, or you do a box breathing 4, 4, 4. And if it's anxious, you breathe in 4, you hold for 7 seconds, and you breathe out 8. Okay, and you do it 5 times just to reset your nervous system. Okay, and then you can modify. If pausing feels too hard, set a timer for 2 minutes and allow yourself to process your emotions before problem solving. So acknowledge, I'm feeling irritated, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling frustrated. Okay. Remember, emotions is energy in motion, and you need to release that energy. Do not suppress it. It will make you sick. The E stands for escape the stress cycle, engage in a sensory reset. a cold splash of water on your face, go outside or listen to music, or even put an ice block in your hand. It helps you reset. Okay, for us girls, we're not going to splash water on our face because our makeup's going to go messy. But taking my shoes off and walking on the grass and then focusing on what I see, hear, taste, touch, and smell definitely is a way for me just to relax, a reset. Okay, then change your environment, move to another room, stand up or stretch. Emergency brain dump, write down everything in your head without judging it. So you take a piece of paper and you say everything that's in my head. And a lot of people are scared to do this because they're worried somebody's going to find the piece of paper. But you're in control of where that piece of paper goes. So just get it out of your head onto paper because we're very good at overthinking. Okay, and we overthink on the same things all the time. So take it out your head, put it on paper. Okay, and then when you finish, you can actually throw it away. But I can guarantee you, you will feel much better. I did it at a corporate, and it was, I think, about 30 people around that table. And I said, how much better do you feel after doing it? And the highest was like 100%. The lowest was like 15%. But if 15% is making you feel better, it's worth doing it. And it doesn't take long. It really doesn't take long. Invest in your mental health. You're alone here. And this is the most important thing. Then modify if needed. If you freeze under stress, use voice notes instead of writing or ask a friend to help you talk through your thoughts. Okay. S, simplify the next step. What is the smallest, easiest thing I can do next? Okay, one tiny thing. We're not going to go for big things. We're building momentum. Okay, then break the task into one action. Open my laptop instead of write a full report. Okay, use a 2-minute rule. If something takes under 2 minutes, do it immediately. There's also the 10-minute rule, the 5-minute rule. We don't like rules unless they're rules we make for ourselves. So make your own rules. Okay, whatever it is, make your own rules that you can work with yourself and you can get things done. Okay, then modify if needed. If you struggle with decisions, set a 5-minute decision timer to avoid overthinking. Then engage in a coping strategy. Choose one strategy that helps you reset. Movement, go for a 5-minute walk. Listen to an upbeat song that you can get your dopamine intake from. Double bottling, call a co-worker to work with you. Watch a 2-minute inspiration video. Use whatever works. Have a list of things that work. Okay. And then use it. Put it somewhere that you've got access to it. It's not in your head. It needs to be external, in a little box or whatever. Then T, talk to yourself with kindness. So ADHD is not a personal failure. You remind yourself, my brain works differently and that's okay. I'm not lazy. I just need to adjust my strategy. I can take small steps and still make progress. Then you can use positive, and this also goes into your emergency box. I've been overwhelmed before. I've got through it. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to start. I can feel anxious and still deal with this. I've done this before and I can do it again. This feels difficult and uncomfortable. Okay, but you can use a whole lot. There's a whole lot of one day at a time. Okay, thoughts are just thoughts. They're not necessarily true or factual. Find out a positive self-talk that works for you and start with one only. There's many. But choose my go-to is this too shall pass, because every trial in life is temporary and it passes. So it's true. And I say to myself, because we talk ourselves up, we need to learn to talk ourselves down with kindness. We need to learn to be our own best friend in our head. Okay, then life is good. So the reset, again, the summary of the reset is recognize and pause. Escape the stress cycle, simplify the next step, engage in a coping strategy, whatever works for you, and then talk to yourself with kindness. And I promise you that works. It's a really good reset. Okay. Signs, I'm feeling overwhelmed. So this is part of it. A reminder to be kind to myself. So this is what I want you to do. Signs, when are you feeling overwhelmed? What is a sign? What is a reminder that you can be kind to yourself? Then my go-to reset strategies is recognize and pause. Okay, then next to each one of them, you can actually write when you get the notes or you download this. Okay, you can actually write what your reset strategy is, and it can go into your little emergency jumpstart task box, or the little emergency coping skills box, or life skills box. Okay, it can even have a little sweet in, so that sweet will remind you, because I love sweets, okay, to focus on being mindful. Okay, so how you talk yourself down or how you keep yourself in the moment is you pop the sweet into your mouth and you focus all your energy and time and your attention on what you can taste, what it feels like in your mouth. Does it smell? Okay, because remember, you're diffusing those stressed thoughts, which creates the feelings, which creates the behavior. So the whole idea about the pause is think, feel, choose your behavior. You have that pause to choose. You don't have to react. You can learn to respond. So learn to embrace setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth. Okay. And your homework is to reset a setback and experiment with your new reset strategies. So that's my part. And it really does work. But remember, you need to unlearn and relearn. This is not going to work if you just listen to us and then you don't do anything during the week. You need to take one thing and improve on it. Okay, it's for you, it's for nobody else, because it'll make you a better person. It'll make you more content in your life. It'll make you calmer. It'll make you have better relationships. But if you don't work on yourself and you don't take the stuff, nothing's going to happen. And nothing happens when nothing happens. If you want something to happen, you need to do something. And that's completely up to you. It's on you. You're responsible for that. And that's the exciting part, is that you have a choice. You can choose to use this or you can choose not to use it. But understand, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's a good saying. Nothing will happen. Okay. Tash, I think we need to get on to questions, if there's any. Yeah.
So there's no questions in the chat, so I think it's just a great time to open up the conversation.
Yeah.
Just with regards to like how this has landed with people and the things that the tools that people do use currently, and maybe what they would be, what's really been a ding dong bell for them, and that they're thinking that they would maybe use in the future.
Absolutely.
Jess is asking about doing a reset as a teacher.
Yeah. Absolutely. You just need to remember you've got creative brains. Okay, it's to make that creative brain of yours work for you. 10% of the time in the problem, 90% of the time in the solution. You need to focus on solutions.
I definitely think, like, for me, the mantra thing really helps. That resonates with me, is that, I have a mantra that I have for myself, and it doesn't go my way. It's the kind of thing that I can say to myself and remind myself that, you know, I can do this and that it is going to be okay. And especially when we're setting ourselves tasks that we haven't done before, and that, we're on a really steep learning curve. And it's great because we're growing and we're learning. But the problem with growing and learning is there's lots of failing along the way.
Yeah.
And that can be challenging. So.
And remember, nothing grows in our comfort zone, so we need to be uncomfortable. It's not nice, but there's a
Mm,
bigger picture. Keep your eyes on the bigger picture.
mm.
So that's the cool part about it.
No. What are some of the other things that the callers, people on the call, that you find, that you have challenges with or that works for you? We've got some new messages coming in. Yeah, the solutions can be overwhelming. We'll put a paper with strategies against my wall. Yeah. The brain dump works amazingly. Tracy, you told me about that some years ago, and I think my thing is when I'm in a level of deep overwhelm because I have too much going on, I don't even really realize it because, I mean, let's be honest, we're all crazy busy, right? We all have a level of overwhelm. But when you write that list and you can actually look at the list and you can understand what has to happen now, what can happen at a later stage, what is it that you actually do have to do it yourself? What is it that someone else can help you with, and you can actually look at your list and really assess objectively what is going on. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel as overwhelming as it did before.
Absolutely. So maybe one of the sessions we can actually do a session on brain dumping. And there's different prompts we can use, which is actually, it's a really, really good session to do.
Chloe's saying that she's going to use the brain dump at night before going to sleep, and also when her kindergartners are sleeping.
Brilliant, Chloe.
I wonder if I can get one at the corporate to have a nap here in the afternoon, so I can do my.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I don't see any other comments coming through, Trace. I think we're probably good to move on. So I just wanted to mention that on the weekend we hosted our positive parenting for teens. Over the weekend we had the workshop and it was great. It was a really wonderful opportunity to share some knowledge and really support people on their parenting journey. So the guests that we had at the workshop were all fantastic, lots of lovely sharing, and some real nice skills development I think that happened at the workshop. There were a lot of the questions that we received was when are you hosting more workshops? So the workshops are something that we are going to host relatively regularly, possibly every 2 months. So if you have any topics that you particularly would like to see a workshop on, feel free to email us with your topics, and we'll look at hosting a workshop on what your suggestions are. And again, if you have any coaching sessions any topics that you would like us to cover, you're very, very welcome to send those to us as well. Next week, we're going to be looking at reflecting, celebrating progress, and future planning, which I think is going to be a really, really exciting and inspiring session. So thanks so much to everybody who joined this evening, and thank you, Tracy. Over to you to say good evening to everyone.
Thank you all for joining us, and I really hope you can take one thing away that can make your life better, make you a happier individual, a healthier individual, and that's what Tash and I wish for you, because support is important. And I mean, we can't do better if we don't know better. And this is all about, if we know better, we can do better. And we can do better not only for ourselves, but for all the people who come into our lives and we are involved with. So it's like a ripple effect. It affects everyone. So just keep on moving forward. Keep on shining your light, and just know whatever you're going through, it will get better. It will pass. And thank you all for joining us. I hope you can join Tash and I next week. And good night and God bless.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.